Imagine this. Okay. It is Tuesday. It's somewhere around, I don't know, 3:15 p.m. You're sitting at your desk. The files are just piling up, and the glare of your monitor is starting to give you that really specific, dull headache.
Oh, yeah, the mid-afternoon slump. It's brutal.
Exactly. That familiar, just heavy fatigue is really settling in. And the office is quiet, like almost too quiet.
Just the air conditioning hum.
Right, the sterile hum of the AC, maybe the occasional clatter of a keyboard somewhere down the hall. You were just trying to push through the next hour. And then suddenly, the entire energy of the room just shifts completely.
The atmosphere totally changes.
Yes, someone walks in and they've brought back this incredible exotic snack from their travels.
It's basically the ultimate pattern interrupt, right? Because suddenly you aren't just processing paperwork anymore. You're pulled entirely out of that corporate tunnel vision.
Right. And that very specific, almost universal feeling is the launch pad for our deep dive today. Because we are unpacking a beautifully specific, actually surprisingly poetic story from a text titled The Masala Whisperer, Sami's Gift of Intuition.
It's a great piece.
It really is. And our mission today is to explore what a simple, seemingly mundane interaction, literally over a missing paper plate, can actually teach us about, well, the profound nature of observation, the mechanics of empathy, and what it truly means to be fully present in a room.
Because, on the surface, you could absolutely read this as just a brief anecdote about office snacks.
Right.
But when we look closer at the actual mechanics of what happens in this story, it operates as this incredible masterclass in human connection, and really the silent ways that we take care of each other.
So let's start by looking at how the scene is set, because the contrast here is what makes the whole thing work so well. The inciting incident begins with the managing director, the MD of this office, returning from a tour of North India.
Yeah, and his arrival is described in this incredibly evocative, sensory way.
It really is. The text says his suitcase is still whispering of train smoke and turmeric.
I love that line so much. That phrase alone, whispering of train smoke and turmeric, it instantly creates friction with the environment.
How so?
Well, you have the predictable, completely sanitized environment of an office, right? With the files and the fatigue you mentioned earlier. And into that sterile space walks this vivid burst of sensory life.
Yeah.
It's aromatic, it's textured, it is entirely out of place in, honestly, the best possible way.
And he brings back this treasure. It's a special northern masala mixture called chakni, and the text describes it as being golden and fiery as desert sand.
Which tells you immediately that this isn't just, a bag of stale pretzels from the vending machine down the hall.
Oh, definitely not.
This is a visceral experience. It has heat. It has color. It essentially demands your attention.
And the MD shares it. The story says he ends up distributing this stuff like a generous Raja, going around the whole office making sure everyone gets some.
Right, he's holding court.
Exactly. He gets to watch their eyes light up as the crunch and the spice hit their tongues. It's this really beautiful moment of communal joy. But then, after playing the generous king, he retreats to his own cabin.
Which makes sense. He's done his duty.
Right. He is filled with quiet glee, he's alone with his own packet, and he is finally ready to sit down and savor his portion.
The anticipation is just at its absolute peak here. He has taken care of his people, and now he is carving out a private moment of enjoyment just for himself.
And that is exactly when we hit the snag, the dilemma. He is ready to eat, the chakni is right there on the desk, but as the text says, fate had forgotten a plate.
Oh, the worst feeling.
Right. He looks around his space, his desk is cluttered, he opens his drawers completely bare. There isn't a lid, there isn't a spare sheet of paper, there's absolutely nothing in sight to pour this snack onto.
It is the classic juxtaposition, really. High anticipation crashing right into a mundane logistical failure.
Honestly, reading this, my first instinct as a practical person was just to ask, well, why didn't he just step back out of his cabin and ask someone for a plate?
Sure.
He's the boss. He just gave everyone a great snack. Surely someone has a napkin, right?
You'd think so.
But the more I thought about it, the more I really recognized the feeling. It's like, okay, it's like finally sitting down to watch a movie you've waited months to see.
Oh, I know where this is going.
Right.
Yeah.
You've got your cozy blanket. You've got your perfectly popped popcorn. You sink deep into the couch.
Yeah.
Only to realize you left the TV remote across the room on the kitchen counter.
Yes. And you don't get up immediately.
No. You just sit there and let out a heavy, defeated sigh.
That analogy captures the specific vulnerability of the moment perfectly, I think. And the author actually writes that time heard his sigh.
It is such a good line.
It really is. And what's
Mhm.
fascinating is how that phrasing elevates a tiny, trivial logistical failure into a moment of quiet, isolated disappointment.
Time heard his sigh. It just makes the room feel so heavy.
It does, because if you think about the mechanics of anticipation, when you're looking forward to a deeply sensory experience like the crunch and the heat of the chutney, your mind is actually already living in that future moment.
Right, you're practically tasting it.
Exactly. So when the realization hits that you lack a basic tool to access it, that anticipation drops precipitously, and that drop feels like a physical weight. That is the sigh.
Wow.
He isn't sighing because the problem is unsolvable. As you pointed out, he could easily just walk out and solve it in 10 seconds. He is sighing because the spell of the moment is broken.
Its spell is broken, yes.
The effortless joy he was about to experience now requires essentially annoying administrative effort.
He just wanted to enjoy his treasure, and now he has to go do a chore. He has to go manage a problem.
Exactly. And this micro-frustration, this silent, isolated moment in his cabin, it creates a vacuum, a space of unspoken need. Because to understand the true anatomy of observation, we first have to recognize that the vast majority of human need is unspoken.
That's a really profound point.
It exists in these quiet, private sighs behind closed doors, completely hidden from plain view.
Which brings us to the intervention. The doors suddenly open,
Yeah.
and enters Sammy,
Yes.
who is also affectionately referred to as Appa in the text, actually.
Mm.
And we get a very specific visual of Sammy walking in. He's sporting a mustache, and he's wearing a slack shirt that is casually untucked.
I love that detail.
Right. He steps into the MD's cabin, and what follows is this incredibly profound, completely wordless interaction.
The visual details of Sammy matter immensely here. The mustache, the slack, untouched shirt.
It paints a picture of someone very relaxed, just totally unpretentious.
It suggests a fundamental lack of rigidity. Think about it in a corporate environment where the MD has his formal cabin and everyone else is likely adhering to strict professional norms. Sammy's untucked shirt operates as a visual metaphor for his state of mind.
Oh, interesting. So it's not just a fashion choice.
Right. He isn't bound by the rigid, formal lines of communication or hierarchy. He is fluid. He is entirely at ease in his environment.
And his actions are just as fluid, because absolutely no words are exchanged. Sammy walks in, he takes one single glance, he reads the MD's face, and he just leaves.
Just turns around and walks out.
Yeah. There are a few minutes of total silence before he returns. And when I read this, it really reminded me of a seasoned orchestra conductor.
Oh, how so?
Well, imagine a conductor who can stand in front of 100 musicians playing at full volume, and he can instantly hear that a single violin in the second row is slightly out of tune.
Right, amidst all that noise.
Exactly. He doesn't need a briefing. He doesn't need a memo or a status update. He just instantly downloads the entire situation from the visual cues in the room. The unboxed chutney, the cluttered desk, the defeated posture.
That conductor metaphor is brilliant, actually, because true observation isn't just looking at the surface, right? It is decoding the underlying harmony, or in this case, the disharmony of a space.
Yeah.
There is a phrase here that forms the absolute core of this deep dive. Sammy wasn't just present in place, he was present in pulse.
Present in pulse. It's a remarkable distinction, honestly.
It changes everything. Being present in place just means your physical body occupies a coordinate in space. You are literally in the room. And I mean, we all know people who are present in place but entirely absent in mind.
Oh, absolutely. They're looking at their screens. They're trapped in their own internal monologue.
Or they're merely waiting for their turn to speak.
The classic look of someone nodding along while clearly thinking about what they're going to have for dinner.
Precisely. And we default to being present in place because modern work, and frankly modern life, incentivizes tunnel vision.
Totally.
We are rewarded for checking off our own to-do lists, not for observing the room. But being present in pulse means you are actively attuned to the rhythm of the environment. You are feeling the heartbeat of the room.
And the text says Sammy was listening to silences and watching gestures.
Right. So Sammy's untucked, casual, physical appearance belies a highly disciplined, laser-focused situational awareness. He is picking up on the frequencies that everyone else is just ignoring.
So he's tuned into the channel of the room. He reads the face, he reads the desk, he reads the broken spell, he leaves. And then he returns. And here is where we get into the actual craftsmanship of empathy.
This is my favorite part.
Because he doesn't just come back with, like, a flimsy, ordinary napkin from the break room. He brings a custom, handcrafted paper plate.
The structural integrity of what he builds is the key here.
It is heavily emphasized in the story. This paper plate was so cleverly folded and curved that it could hold not just a handful, but a feastful of this heavy masala mixture.
Yes.
Wait, though, I have to push back slightly here.
Okay, go for it.
Handing him a flat piece of printer paper technically solves the problem in 2 seconds.
Right.
It gets the job done. So why spend minutes doing paper origami?
That is a great question. And that brings us to the crucial difference between solving a problem and speaking in solutions.
Speaking in solutions.
Right, because handing the MD a flat piece of paper solves the immediate literal problem.
Yeah.
Okay, the chalk knee won't touch the dirty desk, but it completely ignores the experiential problem.
I see. How so, exactly?
Well, think about the physics of it. A flat piece of paper is unstable. The heavy masala might roll off the edges. The MD would have to carefully cup the paper, eating tentatively to avoid making a mess on his desk.
Yeah, that's true.
It turns the joyful act of eating a beloved snack into an act of anxiety and caution. Sammy didn't just want to give him a surface. He wanted to restore the joy of the experience.
Wow, okay.
By taking the time to fold the plate, to curve the edges so it could securely hold a feastful, Sammy demonstrated what we might call structural empathy.
Structural empathy. That's a really powerful concept.
He anticipated the exact scale of the MD's need. He saw that this wasn't just, a quick handful of chips to hold someone over until dinner.
Right. This is Chakni. This is an event.
Exactly. This was a prized, heavy masala mixture that deserved a proper vessel. So he engineered a solution that didn't just fix a logistical error, but actively elevated the MD's experience of the chalk-knee. It showed a deep structural understanding of what the MD actually wanted to do, which was to feast completely effortlessly.
So the craftsmanship of the plate is actually the physical manifestation of how deeply he was paying attention.
Precisely.
It's not just, oh, I saw you needed a plate. It's, I saw you needed to relax and enjoy a large amount of this specific food without worrying about spilling it.
And that transforms a utilitarian fix into an act of profound care. I mean, think about how often we try to help people by offering the most basic functional fix.
Oh, all the time.
We say things like, hey, let me know if you need anything.
Which puts all the work on them.
Exactly. That puts the burden back on the person who is already sighing. Sammy bypasses the administrative burden entirely. He doesn't ask. He builds the structural solution before the MD even has to articulate the problem.
Which sets up the climax of the story just beautifully. Because Sammy walks back in, hands over this beautifully engineered custom paper plate, and the MD is completely stunned.
Rightfully so.
He blinks in surprise. And he finally breaks the silence that has been hanging over this whole interaction to ask the obvious question. How did you know I needed a plate?
And Sammy's response, or rather his lack thereof, is just brilliant.
Sammy doesn't answer with words at all. He doesn't say, well, I saw the chalk-knee in your empty desk and I deduced the rest.
No.
He simply smiles. The story describes it as a quiet, knowing curve. And that smile essentially translates to, I don't need to be told, I just observe.
It is the ultimate mic drop moment, honestly, and it's delivered in complete silence.
Why does that smile carry so much weight, though?
Yeah.
Like, if he had explained himself, it feels like it would have cheapened the moment somehow.
Oh, it absolutely would have. Explaining the mechanics of his observation would have reduced a moment of profound human connection to, like, a clinical breakdown of visual data.
Yeah, a bulleted list of clues.
Right. And the title of the text refers to Sammy's gift of intuition, and the author calls this moment a tender spark of intuition. We so often romanticize intuition as a mystical gift, a sixth sense.
Right. The MD basically thinks it's magic. How did you know?
Like it's a superpower. But when we analyze Sammy's actions step by step, we see that what we call intuition is actually just rapid, highly attuned observation.
So it's not magic at all.
No. Sammy's knowing curve of a smile is the quiet acknowledgement that there is no magic. There is only presence.
You should have paid attention.
Exactly. He observed the context.
Yeah.
The MD just handed out snacks. The MD is alone in his cabin. The chalk-knee is unboxed on the desk. The desk is cluttered. The MD looks deflated. The synthesis of all that context, that is the intuition.
That makes so much sense.
By truly observing, he took a completely mundane snack moment, literally just a forgotten plate in an office, and transformed it into a lasting story about human connection.
A lasting story that we are sitting here unpacking right now.
Yeah.
It is amazing how much depth is hidden in such a seemingly small interaction.
It operates as a perfect microcosm of emotional intelligence, really, because emotional intelligence isn't just about knowing the right words to say during a crisis.
Well,
It is about anticipating a need before the sigh even finishes leaving someone's lips. It is the folded paper plate.
man, I love that. So as we look at the bigger picture here, let's distill the core lessons.
Yeah.
We live in a world that is absolutely overflowing with loud, explicit communication.
Oh, completely.
We have constant pings, we have group chats, email chains, endless notifications. We are constantly swimming in information, always being told explicitly what people want and what they need.
And yet, ironically, we are often more disconnected than ever.
Yeah, why is that?
Because in all that noise, we allow our ability to be present in pulse to completely atrophy. We just forget how to listen to the silences.
This story really reminds us that true connection, the kind that makes someone blink in stunned surprise, often happens in the quiet moments.
It does.
It happens in the silences we usually ignore. And it proves that sometimes the absolute best, most impactful solutions can be delivered without a single word ever being spoken.
It is a call to shift our attention, to stop just occupying a coordinate in space and start feeling the pulse of the environments we walk into.
I want to leave you with a final thought to ponder on your own today, expanding on this idea of being present in pulse. We've talked a lot about physical spaces, right? The office, the cluttered desk, the physical posture of a heavy sigh.
The untucked shirt.
Yes, the untucked shirt. But consider how this translates to a world that is increasingly remote and digital.
Oh, that's a great point.
Right. When our interactions are reduced to these shoulders-up video calls or just text-based messages where we can't see the untucked shirts or the unboxed chalk-knee on the desk, how do you read the pulse of a digital room?
That's tough.
How do you listen to the silences when the silence is literally just a muted microphone? What does it actually look like to fold a clever, custom paper plate for someone when you can't even see the metaphorical heavy masala they're trying to hold?
It requires a whole new set of skills.
It's a much harder challenge, for sure. But perhaps in an era of digital distance, finding a way to be present in pulse is more vital than ever before.